we are obviously recording because this is a big evening. Thank you for everybody who is here. Really excited to have you all here and joining us. It's truly an honor to be with such a great group. You guys have already done so many amazing things. It's so much fun. For those of you who have not had the pleasure of meeting yet, my name is Scott Schilling. I'm the Executive Vice President of Field Development for BeeKonnected. Really excited to have the opportunity to work with each and every one of you. And it's an honor to welcome you, but it's also an honor to introduce our CEO and co-founder. Now, this is a woman who has dedicated the last 25 years of her life to really her career to creating relationships and serving speakers, coaches, trainers, authors, but also small business owners and entrepreneurs. She is both the co-founder of BeeKonnected, but was the founder of the Public Speakers Association. And what's so amazing is she basically took it upon herself when she heard people and the genius that they shared. She took it upon herself to recognize where that genius needed to be placed so many times. And there was all these folks that had great genius, but they weren't going to be seen by the people who could in fact utilize that genius. There was a bridge missing in between. And so Tanya became the bridge herself, which is actually how I met her probably 6 or 7 years ago. She heard me speak and said, I'd like to help introduce you to people. And I said, I'm all for that. Thank you. And I'll introduce you in return. And so we became great friends. Well, being a bridge is wonderful, except a couple things. It's not scalable. It's not duplicatable. And it just kind of wears you out. So Tanya was in her own words, noodling it one day, right? Going, there's got to be a way for us to automate this. And all of a sudden it was that light bulb moment that all of us wish we have in our career. It was what if we had dating software for the business world? That was it. That was the idea. And so it was so exciting to come with that. She reached out to JR. The whole process started. You're going to hear a whole lot more about that. To a certain extent, the rest, as they say, is history. And what's not history, you're going to hear about here tonight. So it's a distinct honor to introduce our CEO and co-founder, the woman with the idea, the light bulb moment, Ms. Tanya Hoffman. Tanya?
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Scott. It's such an honor to be here with each one of you, to have Scott on the team. Everyone that knows Scott knows that I'm putting together people who have the biggest heart of wanting to help people grow and connect and make some money. And I'm so excited because there's a lot of opportunities that we're going to have just even today. So there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to cover. And so I want to first introduce my co-founder, my partner, the COO, my incredible friend who's always had my back, Mr. Johnny Reed. He has really taken it upon himself to help bring this to life. I mean, he's staying up to like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and to make sure that we get the tools that y'all need. And we know we're listening to each one of you to say, who is it and what do you need to make the biggest, impact? And so with what we're going to be going through today, there's a lot of information. So make sure you got your, paper out and ready to go. And I'm so excited to now turn it over to Ms. Johnny Reed, who will give you the whole kind of breakdown.
Hey, thanks, Ms. Hoffman.
And I've heard that type A has blood type has higher risk of death.
I am looking to mute and cannot find it. My apologies there
again. And then can you release the share button for me?
Yes, sir. There you go.
Wonderful.
My apologies.
Hey, welcome everybody, and thanks for coming in. I know we have some incredibly talented people, if I can say that without leaving out your specialty there on the call here. This obviously is going to be something that we'll all be able to talk about in the very near future, that you were there on the pre-launch, the official pre-launch date.
I've been quarantined.
First one's on you. It's okay. And if you're listening in, Mr. Schilling's doing a great job here trying to monitor, but if you could remember to just leave the mics off until maybe we do a little bit of back and forth.
Over and over, like,
guess not.
I'm not going.
Got it.
So this is an official pre-launch, and as Ms. Hoffman said, which I've got to know her for many, many years, she has just one of the most amazing personalities, just a true go-getter. I mean, her history is too long to go over the time constraints here today of all the accomplishments she's had in her career. Of course, the last one, which she just sold the company to come,
You can kill me.
100% focused on the Bconnect project, was to sell the Public Speakers Association, which she did a great job, took it global. And of course, there's a person that just shows you, right, by by her merits of what she's accomplished, by taking a concept, taking it into, you know, the state of Texas, then taking it across the country, then taking it global. And I think she took that as far as she could take it. And she's always had that frustration. She knows so many amazing people, such as many people on this call, and she knows that you have this talent that if the world needs to know more about you, and you're just missing that one or two connections. And of course, when she approached me and talked about the BeeKonnected concept, of course, we hadn't named it yet. She just said, you know, this is what I'm thinking. I said, that has just enormous capabilities. And then, of course, unfortunately for the world, then this coronavirus thing happened. So we started this project before that happened, but of course, the opportunity has now presented itself. And so I'm going to be covering not in kind of a salesy kind of way, so it might not be as exciting to you as maybe the way Mr. Scott Schilling can give you a presentation, because being the operation manager, I have different conversations with different entities. You know, when I'm talking to the IT department, you know, the CTO and these people, they don't want to hear fluff. They don't want to hear anything. They want to know about code. They want to know about projections. They want to know how many servers do we need? How many upgrades? What's the capability? You know, when this department merges with that department. So all those are the things that you don't really need to know about, but those are the conversations I have to have. And then I start hearing the talent that is showing up into our organization of people who have global reach of, you know, hundreds of thousands. Some have millions of people that they can reach out to. And I'm like, whoa. So that makes me go back to the IT department and say, okay, we need another server. Okay, we need to upgrade this department. So what I'm going to give you is just a little blueprint here today, walk you through some of the things we're going to be talking about so you understand the terrain in which you're participating in. Now, I'm no novice when it comes to building organizations. I have 30 years under my belt of being in the industry of networking, and I've helped, you know, one entity of a brick and mortar grow to 200. It's not me bragging. I'm just saying I've been there, done that. So when we're looking at phase one, which is where the official date is today, the non-disclosure served a purpose. And I put almost a chokehold on who could find out who we are and what we're about, because we were, you know, putting certain concepts together and certain things had to happen before we could really go out and tell more influential people. But that day has arrived. So the non-disclosures are no longer necessary. Mr. Schilling is going to be sending you all out that are people that are affiliated that have paid for their subscription, which of course is not going to be due again until 30 days after the final phase of launching the company. He's going to get you some marketing material. He's going to get you some videos, which we'll show today and talk about, and then talk about what a substitution video could look like. You know, just want to offer some strategy about how to market, not tell you how to do it. But if you don't know, give you like maybe a little insight of what would work. And then of course the website. Now the website's ready as far as the look and the feel and the videos and the links clicking and everything. Unfortunately, because of the momentum that we're going into and the global freak out, especially in the IT world, we ordered more servers and we're transitioning to a much more high-powered server, and it should have already been here in any normal capacity. It should have been here last week, but I got another day or two before that integration. So we don't want to put a website up and then it has to go through a transition, and we might hiccup for an hour or two. This is going to be like Facebook. Once we're live, we never, ever, ever go down. Double, triple redundancy, all that stuff. People will be able to count on us just like you can count on some of the other bigger social networking companies that are out there. This is a big business model. We're going to make sure that you have all the necessary tools to look good, be prideful, know that you're helping people, as you all can make the kind of ridiculous revenue we've put together in our comp plan. Which leads me to the next bullet point, which is start paying commissions. So again, you can't get into the back office, you know, until we get into the beta. And so the official commission platform will simply be PayPal now. just so you get paid. The first thing is you go to work, you do your job, you're definitely going to get paid electronically. But again, when it gets all pretty, doesn't matter if you're in the country of Africa or Australia or my other home, Thailand, or wherever you are in the world, you'll be able to get paid. But right now we're just going to use PayPal. That's just a buffer. That's why it's called a pre-launch. Then the release some of the benefits, and our Zoom benefit, which we'll talk about more in depth, that's going to be available to you this week. So you can get this incredible platform that Mr. Schilling is using, which is usually a very expensive platform, for under $10 a month. And then, of course, the travel one, we're still negotiating because, they're asking us, hey, can you do 100,000, will you buy 100,000? And we're like, okay, yeah, we could do that. Then our goal is 1 million. So, that's 1/10, 1/20 of what we're trying to do. So not a problem. But I don't think anybody's screaming to, because they're not allowed to leave their house. So that's one I don't have to worry. We got another couple of weeks that we can negotiate. And then the live opportunities. So Mr. Schilling has done just a fabulous job with the chokehold on. So we were making him work, like a dog, where he was having to get up early in the morning. We let him have 1 cup of coffee, and then he's sitting in front of his computer the entire day until, somebody tells him to go to bed. So that was done strategically, but those tactics obviously don't work in the big business world. So now we're going to, as we show you our philosophies moving forward now, it's going to be where you can bring the rain, if you will. Because I know some of the talent, and here's some of the legends that I grew up with, studies, read the books, went to the seminars, listened to the people. I know you're here. God bless you. Don't want to be name dropping without permission. And the other people that are at the top of other multi-billion-dollar companies, understand you're here. Again, not to be name dropping, but we recognize that you're in the audience. Definitely want to make sure that you can take full advantage of this, because if you're like me, it gets to a point where money's not more important than helping other people in your life. Right? Giving back, helping the people be successful. And then the weekly trainings, which our coaches are more than prepared to go to the mat and give you everything that you're looking to get and more. And then we'll talk a little bit about that when we get there. So phase 2, I'll just go through this quickly. Then at phase 2, the beta, you will actually have your own replicated website in case you want to change a URL, do some fancy marketing, do whatever. Then obviously you'll be able to go and have people order from your website as a customer, as an affiliate. You can sign your customers up. They can go into the back office, use the connection generator. All the benefits will be released. All the coaching courses will be in a full effect. We'll have tons of testimonials. All of our marketing material will shift from facts to stories, right? We know how to play the game. And then the weekly trainings are going to be out of this world, where we're going to have more and more like interim coaches, coach of the week, deal of the week, showing the people how to actually get more value out of our program than we initially promised from the get-go. And then, of course, finally, phase 3, that's when we take all the gloves off and then just see how big this can get. Now, I will share this with you. We'll never want to compete with the free program, because free is not what we're about. That's where you get everybody that wants to show pictures of their oatmeal that they ate in the morning, or their cat or their dog. We want to just deal with business people. So we know a social media and business company has over 400 million subscribers. And out of that, some people have upgraded. So we're playing in the big league. So that's why we want to make sure that there is a pre-launch. We can't mess anything up, either the company or you. None of us can really make a problem happen in the pre-launch, because you just see the front of the website, giving presentations. It's all, a lot of touchy-feely, warm and fuzzies. Everybody gets a lot of information before they make a decision. The beta, where it can get a little messy, right? Because that's where you take the gloves off and everybody's like, they're trying to get everybody and their sister to learn about the program. And some people are going to take shortcuts even though they shouldn't. That's it. But by the time we get to phase 3, we'll be alive and kicking. So I'm going to play for you here. This is what is known in the networking world, which this is, by the way, not a networking company, but it is a tactic that's used. Just text and share, which means Mr. Schilling, if you don't know, will help you with a couple 1 or 2 liners that you put in the text message, and you send out a video, and the videos will constantly change and upgrade as we get testimonials and things of that nature. And it's just to do one thing: build enough curiosity so they come listen to us in a virtual presentation. And of course, Mr. Schilling will be announcing later his schedule of giving virtual presentations to the world. He will be doing this every single day to make sure that as the people start to mount and grow, we're not being bottlenecked by trying to get an isolated time for one particular person. Now, we will be making available the important people to meet with Mr. Schilling on a one-on-one, myself, or, well, not myself, but Ms. Hoffman. Thank you, whoever that was, for the heads up.
Hey, Tracy Repchuk here. I'm an online business growth strategist specifically.
Okay, so we've seen all that to the end there. So in the Bconnected model, this is our overview PowerPoint. I know there's some people here tonight for the first time. Some of you have been with us for quite a while and you didn't see the new updates and all the upgrades. I know just a handful of you have seen the current presentation. So I'm just going to walk you through this real quickly, but we're going to stop about halfway, and I want to introduce you, or have our CEO introduce you to some of the most important people in this platform, because as you start to put the pieces to puzzle together, this is not a one product company. This is a membership where people are going to have just incredible value that they could use continuously by the day, by the week, by the month, by the year, and help them mold and change where they are. So our wonderful CEO, obviously 25 years under her belt with the Public Speakers Association and working with small business owners, is not counting 7 years having retail stores and things of that nature. Just got a fabulous track record. If you get to know her, everyone that knows her absolutely adores her because of her amazing winning personality, right? She's always looking for the bright side of people. She's always connecting people. That's just what she does continuously. And as you can see from the images on here, these are just screen captures I took from my phone, from the computer, to show you this is what the look and the feel of our opportunity is all about. Very tasteful, colorful things. You'll notice right there on the front there's going to be a video that people actually can watch, and there's many videos throughout the website for educational purposes to get people to understand a little bit more about who we are and what we do. So let's just talk about the 800-pound gorilla, right? And this is the global paradigm shift that the world is going through. We didn't ask for it, it just happened. You know, the thing is called COVID-19, and I want to get into the politics of this, but if you don't understand what the 19 means, it's the 19th time something has come out of a certain country that's caused a pandemic or a serious problem. So is there a chance it's going to happen again and again? And so the paradigm shift here is, and we explained what a paradigm is when something important changes and it makes everything go along for the change, right? And you need something new and do it in a different way. Well, how do you fight a paradigm shift? Well, you can't unless you have another paradigm shift to go along with it, right? It's like fighting fire with fire. And so that's the beauty of this. Now, again, we didn't create the company after the fact. We started down this path before it happened. So the way that people traditionally have done business, that's at a crossroads. I don't want to be in politics here, but I think you'd agree with me. A lot of people that had a business lost their business, and a lot of them are not coming back. And some people that had a job that went away or got put on a holding pattern, they're rethinking their life right now. They're thinking, maybe I don't need to be doing the same thing over and over again, where if my opportunity stops and I've been trading time for money, I'm just waiting on somebody to save me. So there's I think it was 10 million people in a 48-hour period here in the United States that went on unemployment. And Ms. Hoffman came to me and said, oh, by the way, Maui, because I lived in Hawaii before, I lived on the Big Island, she said, Maui's at 70% unemployment. 7-0. I was like, holy cow. And of course, my other home in Thailand, you know, 14% of their GDP is based on tourism. And so I got good friends in Bangkok that are just absolutely in lockdown, and they can't do nothing, just like the rest of the people in California here in America. So the whole world's going through this issue. And so instead of complaining about it, we actually have a solution, right? Because people need to find a new way to achieve success. And that's our message, right? And are we looking at the business world? They don't know. all kinds of people are just going, what do we do now, right? And so that's where Ms. Hoffman's got this incredible idea. We're going to step up as leaders and help the world understand there is a better way, there is another way. And so I'll go ahead and let Ms. Hoffman talk a little bit about here the solution that she came with and what her mindset was when she created this company.
So I always looked at all these incredible people that just blew me away. Every time I met someone new, I was like, oh my gosh, the world needs to know who you are. But how do you meet those people if they never know who you are? And so when we created this connection factor, it was like the thing that everybody, and I think everyone who's on here, what I've heard from most of y'all is like, this is what I've been trying to figure out. And then when we take that and go beyond that to educate and empower people with the connections, because it takes way more than just that one little nugget. They have to go further with it. So when we keep coming up with these different solutions, we also wanted to offer huge incentives. And it can create real value in the loyalty of the customers, right? How do you create real momentum? Well, you have to have all three solutions in place. And that's why we're so multifolded in one membership. Plus, we want to make it affordable, cost-effective, and continuous. That's one of the reasons that it's so important for the coaching that you're going to be receiving from these amazing people. Isn't just going to be, here's your first ones, you get to, listen to them, you got to implement them, you get to learn some real juicy, this isn't fluffy talk, I can't stand fluffy talk. This is real content. But we know you're going to need more, and you're going to need more, and there's going to be specific topics that you're going to want. So we're looking at lots of incredible opportunities to bring in the top of the top to really help you in your solutions and help all the people you're going to be able to go out there and say, you have that, you're looking for the answer, we've got the solution right here.
Okay, and so as we get back into the presentation, and of course, this is the overview that Mr. Schilling is going to be doing on a continuous basis, and this is also material that will be released to the leaders that want to get it. Doesn't mean if you have it, you have to use it. It'll just be an option. Some people like to say, look, just give me a presentation, show me how it works, and then turn me loose. I'm a big boy, I'm a big girl, I know how to do this. So number one in the presentation, obviously, is we're going to cover what is the connection generator. That's the secret sauce. That's the thing that, it takes algorithms and certain questions, and I don't know how those people do it, right? They got an IQ to the sun, but they can't tie their shoe. Those are just special people. I say that with love and affection. They're just gifted people that create this incredible engine, if you will, that's already been created for a different industry. It was just Ms. Hoffman's intellect and idea to say, hey, if we move this around and we change some questions, this has a perfect application for the business world. Now, that's not good enough, right? That was our main concept, but you have to keep building value. So as she said, we have world-class coaches, and we're talking about people, which we'll be talking about, like Mr. Foster. The only thing he's done his entire adult life is branding. He's the branding master, and I'll let Ms. Hoffman talk about that. But there's a guy that, has coached 100,000 plus, business owners in 600 different industries. I would bet you it'd be hard to find anybody that can match him, idea for idea, resume, if you will, of the people that he's interacted with and helped out in that industry anywhere in the world. So these are the people that Ms. Hoffman was able to attract to the models, wanting to get the best of the best, not just a bunch of people that just can talk a good game, but they all have an actual history of success to go along with what they do. And then member benefits, again, value that we want to add to make it irresistible, right? Make it an offer that is a total win-win for everybody participating. And then, of course, tonight we'll talk a little bit or a lot about the affiliate program, which is, in my opinion, the way to go, because even though I love the world of home-based and I did it for 30 years, it puts a serious limitation on your penetration for global reach, right? So you look at the biggest companies that do many billions of dollars in business, but then you look at other social media platforms now that have hundreds of millions of customers. So we don't want to go ahead and put ourselves in a box and have us be tagged, if you will, or flagged or marked, if you will, as an entity that we're not. Our whole focus as a company is customer acquisition and customer satisfaction, right? And we want to pay some people, but we don't pay the whole world to market our product. We just want to pay a handful of skillful people, and of course the rewards can be very handsome. So again, this is going back to the original days of our first presentations. This is Ms. Hoffman's idea, saying, okay, I said, okay, in your world of public speaking and coaching, what are you guys giving classes on? She says, well, everybody wants customers and more leads. People are, and Ms. Rupchek helped me with this one. She said, well, I have a course to take people from just an idea to being able to turn that into a six-figure a year income. And I think everybody and their mother right now is looking for, hey, how can I start a business online and make six figures? You know, I was serving cocktails, or I was waiting on tables, or whatever my job was before. I ain't coming back for like 4 or 5 months. I can't wait that long. I need to get started right now. Ways to promote things, speaking opportunities, gigs. And I love Ms. Hoffman's concept of a customer. She thinks outside the box. Her idea of a customer is an organization that has all your customers within the organization. So she looks at that person who runs that organization as a customer. She always thinking big ball, or instead of selling something one at a time, sell it 10 at a time, 1,000 at a time, 10,000 at a time. So then here's a little video. Hopefully the sound is still working on the connection generator. And this is, like I said, the secret sauce of our program. None of these are long and boring. They're just supposed to be high energy, get the point across in less than 2 minutes so that people can move on and get more information. So a lot of people have to see the video, they're intrigued, they're excited, they're like, okay, but how does it really work, right? How does this whole thing work? And it's incredibly simple, right? On a user end, building it is like a nightmare, right? I listen to these guys talk about the algorithms, and I don't want to know any more than I already do. So the BeeKonnected is John. Let's say John is a fictitious person, comes to BeeKonnected, fills out his online application. Well, we're going to ask John a lot of questions that are business related. So he's going to build a portfolio, or a profile, if you will, online. And he's allowed to add videos and all kinds of content to make him look like a rock star that he is. So when people look at his profile, they know who they're dealing with. Not just words on a page, but actually get to hear and see John. Now, John's a new member, so John's going to say, okay, I want to find some connections, because the connections are the key. Right? And that's what's going on now, is everybody's in a lockdown. Nobody can go anywhere. And yes, different components like webinars like this can connect people, but connect people to who? We want to connect you to the right people that can make a difference in your life, right? That's what business owners are looking for, is those right connections. So when he goes and hits a button in a nanosecond, all the other profiles and all that data is doing what it does in the cloud, and it's going to pick out 6 people that are going to interconnect with his industry. Some will be like-minded, some will be cross-minded. An example would be like, say, a book author. It'll find another publisher, it'll find a social media expert, it'll find all the people in different categories. And then what John can do then is look over all the profiles, but just like dating software, he can't reach out and call the person until there's a mutual agreement. So when he clicks on a profile, let's say he clicks on Susie, then the connection generator is going to allow them to actually start now communicating on how they would like to get together. And they can decide if it's going to be a webinar, Skype, Messenger, whatever. It's up to them what they want to do, and we're going to help them make that connection. And then why they make that connection, this is, again, quality and value, is let the people rate one another so we can run out the people that are not good people, right? Because, you know, there's a lot of spam and a lot of bad people out there, and we want to build a brand of integrity and trust so that people know they're going to get quality connections with BeeKonnected. So it's kind of like a high-end, you know, want to belong to the upper echelon organization of people without being snooty about it. So they'll all be rated. They'll give each other the ratings 1 through 5. If we find a consistent, you know, 1 star, which this is for private use. We don't call people trolls, but we in presentations say a person spamming or trolling. We'll be able to reach out, customer service will talk to these people, and if we find it's true, remove them from the organization. And then, of course, on the opposite end, if people are getting 4s and 5s, they'll be going through the rotation of the search engine faster to get more connections to do more business. So again, the better people win. Now, at this time, I want to turn this back over to Ms. Hoffman, because the people that she's about to bring, like I said, they're the best of the best. These people have a heart. They're just awesome people. They're playing team ball. You know, I asked them to kind of step it up and offer more value for less dollars in the free courses, just so more people can have their advantage of their expertise. And it's all a win-win kind of formula, and they've all pretty much agreed to that. So I have just the most outstanding respect for these people. Ms. Hoffman is about to bring in, and then Tanya, I'll just go ahead and click the picture so that people can see who they are and what they're offering.
Awesome. Well, I want to first introduce you to the amazing Miss Tracy Repchek. I've known her for so many years, and every time she used to speak at my conference quite often, people would always ask me to bring her back, because she gives you real information, especially on online classes, online information on how to build a business. And this is one of the main things that we wanted to go over. And so we were excited when she said yes. So Tracy, could you tell us a little bit?
All righty. Well, I'm an online income strategist, which means I'm always looking for how you can leverage the skills and knowledge you have to make more money now. And one of the most powerful ways I can quantum leap your growth is by helping you take advantage of the knowledge and skills that you have from here and putting them into an online course so you can work from anywhere you want and be making the money you want anytime you want. Now imagine finally living the freedom lifestyle you've always dreamed about, especially now. It's important that you create an online course, and I'm going to be showing you how to create one guaranteed to sell. Then you can add membership sites, online mastermind groups, online coaching, and leverage social media so you can get seen, be heard, make more, and reach millions with your message. As part of BeeKonnected, I'm going to be providing you with my 6-figure results-focused online course blueprint. So you are going to discover the proven formula to how you design, market, fill, and deliver a lucrative and rewarding online program, even if you have no idea what to build. And when you add the BK formula to your online brand and offerings, that will take you to game-changing heights. So I look forward to connecting with you soon.
Awesome. And remember that we will have each one of these incredible coaches a video. So if you're like, I didn't quite catch all that, it's okay. You're about to hear it over and over again to your heart's delight. So it's going to be awesome on the website. So now I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Domingo Silvas. I met Domingo several years ago and immediately was impressed with his heart, his expertise. And then I took his course on e-commerce and I was just like, man, this guy knows what he's talking about. It was just so in-depth, but understandable, you know, because sometimes you take courses, you're like, what do they say? He was actually one that I was like, oh, I know exactly what to do. So Domingo, wrap it up from here.
Well, I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to be part of BeeKonnected because I think the way things are happening right now, e-commerce is the way of the future. I mean, think about it right now. Do you really think people are going to go back to the way they were shopping before? No, people are getting very comfortable buying online. So you guys as business owners, you're going to be able to create your online e-commerce store and be able to attract your customers and find new customers that are looking for you. I'm going to share with you the latest tips and strategies that all the big guys are out there using, all so that you guys can take advantage of all the latest training out there and be able to connect with the right people. So it doesn't matter if you're a small mom and pop company or if you're already doing millions of dollars. by creating and generating an e-commerce store and learning the latest strategies in internet marketing, you're going to be able to explode from the gate. And so I'm excited to be able to share this with you. And if you add all the connections that you'll be able to generate from the connection generator, you're going to be able just to expand a little bit further. So it's absolutely amazing, and I'm excited to be with you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, Domingos, every time I look, he's in a different country. I'm like, where are you today? Now I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Jerry Foster. Jerry and I just became friends, and it was like immediately, oh my gosh, you're the guy that I've been looking for forever on branding, because it's not just about logos and things. It's really about strategically setting yourself and your business up the right way. And he has so many years, his whole life in the branding world. So he really understands it, inside and out. Jerry, can you take it from here?
Absolutely. And it's great to be here tonight and to be part of this incredible platform and team. The essence of branding is to have something that will give any small business owner, particularly someone who offers a skill set, expertise, talent, skills, abilities, that unique identity that not only can set you apart from the competition, but more importantly, put something out into the world that is designed for you to accelerate what you're here to accomplish, so that you can indeed accelerate your sales and your income. And so most of the people that I work with come to me because they've got something great to offer the world, but they're looking for something that's going to propel them into their destiny and allow them to leave a mark on the world. Or sometimes people feel stuck. They're uncertain about, well, what should my brand be? And is it more than a logo and the pretty colors and things of that nature? And so what I do is I show them how to put together that top shelf, elite, best in class, big brand that can make big things happen, even if the person has a small budget. So that's the essence of what I do.
Love it. And now we have the incredible Mr. Sean G. Murphy. Don't forget the G. And Sean and I, Scott immediately said, I know who we need as one of our top experts. He's my friend. I've known him for a long time. And then he told me who he was. And I'm like, what has he done? When you start adding up just all the knowledge and the years that we've all been in business, the coach is it's just incredible, like over hundreds of years of different, expertise. And then Sean throws it in there and he's like, got it all right there. So Sean, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you're going to help people get out of the mindset issues around sales and, approaching a lot of these different atmospheres?
Absolutely. Thank you, Tanya, and Jerry and Tracy and Domingo. Thank you. I'm just excited to be here. And JR, Mark Twain said the difference between the right word and the almost right word is the difference between lightning and a lightning bug. So the challenge that we're going to experience right now is that the global energy is shifted, and it's shifted to people wanting more control. People had put their authority in something they thought they had control over, but in the last 3 weeks, they realized they had no control over it, and they're fighting to get it back. For 30 years, I've stood on stage around the globe, been translated into 40 languages. That just means I've failed in more locations and in more languages than most people. But here's the reality. The unfair advantage that I used to have is narrowed dramatically and almost overnight with BeeKonnected. Because of the way it's going to connect people, because of the way people are going to start to find you, your essence is what's going to need to come out. The words you use, there's words to be written and there's words to be said, and the two shall not be combined. That's going to be a major impact in you doing business online through what Tracy teaches you and Domingo teaches you in commerce and language, and what branding Jerry teaches you. The language that's going to fit you is what people are going to be looking for. And we're going to find a way to make sure that your language stands out in all of the static so that people have the natural logical conclusion to do business with you. Thanks, Tanya.
Awesome. So as you can see, we have the most amazing team for you. And now I'm going to turn it back over to my co-founder and partner, Mr. Johnny Reed, which, by the way, oh my gosh, if you don't know JR, he has done so much with strategically building businesses. And I'm so honored to have him, help me grow this for each one of you. It's exciting. So JR, take it from here.
And thanks, Tanya. So in wrapping up this section of the presentation, obviously during your normal overview, you don't get all 4 coaches showing up saying hello to your prospect, but we wanted to make sure that you understood just the value that these people bring to the table. All by themselves could be something that we charge a membership for, where they're giving away $3,000 of over 100 years of experience and many, many billions of dollars that have already documented in sales from what they do. I mean, we could actually get 2 billion just out of Mr. Murphy. So, you know, the whole point here is we want to keep adding value upon value. And remember, this is our initial offer in the pre-launch. Wait till we actually start the company and we grow a little, what we're going to do for the consumer after the fact. That all ties into the master formula of how we believe we'll go viral around the world. So again, another very important, obviously, tool that everybody is already reaching out for, but I would gather most of them are not getting the top tier platform of a webinar, which includes up to 500 attendees in a webinar platform, could be able to stream to Facebook for 10,000 people, be live streaming on YouTube, right? All the important features of the upper echelon of a webinar. We're offering this, which is normally like $160 a month, for $9.99 to our members. So again, a huge cost savings and a tool that everybody needs to have, not just a generic one, but the upper echelon, especially if you want to be doing business. Is just one of those type of products that it just is a kind of a no-brainer. Now, this is a platform that we have to have a little bit of vision, because eventually, as they've already conquered all the other pandemics, right, the SARS and all the rest of them, eventually they conquer it, it goes away, and people got to go back to work and get on planes and check into hotels and rent cars and things of that nature. So we have what we call a travel savings passport that has $2,500 in actual real savings. And then this normally costs people money to get into this type of this particular product. We're actually, as a company, paying for that and giving it to our members free of charge. And of course, this has already been promoted on, like, you know, the news and National Geographic and in famous newspapers and in Forbes. So it's very legit. It's, you know, we don't have time to go through all the nooks and crannies, but it's actually real $2,500 in savings. I know our CEO has been using this particular product for many, many years and saves a lot of money. And then that leads us to winding down the normal presentation that we normally give, which is the membership now has over $7,599 worth of true value potential benefits. And there's 3 ways that people could take advantage of our program. The first is they come and they buy a membership for just a month, right? They're just laying out $299 to get $7,599 in return. So what they can do in that month is go through all the courses, right? Take advantage of that $3,000. They can get the Zoom, they can get the $2,500 in savings and use the connection generator to make their connections and then be done. And that's one option. The second option, which we're pretty much banking on, is to actually become a member, excited about the product, refer it to 2 people, and then they can stay here forever at no charge, right? They paid one time and they can use all the coaching and the continued platform of education and all the additional things we're going to be offering them, and then constantly using the connection generator to find their leads, to find their customers, to find the people they need to. And the third person probably just says, this is the best money I've ever spent. Who cares? I'll just pay them every month because I think it's great. We would prefer that the person become a member for life for free. That is our focus, and our goal is to build so much value. They'll help us grow. And then in return, we want to give them everything that we have to offer and continue to offer free of charge. Then that leads us to the financial reward section, which this is, again, a little weird. We're not charging any of our affiliates to become an affiliate outside of being just a customer or a member, if you will. So what it takes to qualify is 5 direct customers or members, if you will. And then we have that policy if they refer to, you know, they can get it for free. So total of 10 members, you start receiving income. But I want to make this very clear because sometimes some people get confused. We pay you on the first person. It's just we wait till you get to 10, then we go ahead. And so the minimum check, which we'll learn here, the minimum check you earn right out of the gate is $500. So we pay you from the very first transaction. Again, we want to make sure the person is a real person to do 5 to qualify to get paid. There's no monetary money you got to come up. Now it says out-of-pocket costs required. we're not expecting you to give us money, but you might want to think about it. If you're in business promoting this, you might have to, do a few things that might incur some type of a cash outlay. But that's not for me to tell you. Most of the people on here are rock stars to begin with. So I'm not here to insult your intelligence. Now, this is what the platform was built long term, but we're in a pre-launch. And so what we see here is $299 is what a customer would pay. Customer refers 2 people, they get it free. And I want to make this very clear. Once we begin, we're not going to be actively seeking affiliates. We're only doing that now. We believe the company and the product line can go viral. And so then to become an affiliate will be one of those processes. We want to be meeting the people. We don't just want anybody representing our company. That'll make a networker kind of freak out, right? Because they're used to just recruiting anybody that wants to say yes. And so what happens here is you've got $25 to $100 per membership paid to the person. All the customers that referring other customers count towards your volume of commission. And then during the pre-launch, we are just going to go ahead and get rid of the first tier and double your commission. So instead of making 25, you make 50. And then this confusing thing that was over here with a 10, a 5, and a 5, that's because we have volume requirements in the future for future affiliates. We're going to waive all that, grandfather everybody in, so every influencer bringing another influencer is going to get $20 on all of that other influencer's customers. And then when we get through, we just do a little example to say, look, let's say you went out and all you could do is, over the course of time, find 20 people that wanted to join BeeKonnected as a customer, and they referred to, and we go through 9 generations. Is that 9? No, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you end up making $128,000 on this one, but you got to add all these up. If we come over here and say, if you were to be a go-getter and bring 100 people to the table, right? And that could be from referrals and whatnot. And they get 2 through 7 generations. Now it's paying north of $500,000. That's at this juncture. That's not adding up all these commissions. And I'm going to save the last part here before I turn it back over to Mr. Schilling and then Ms. Hoffman. So we're always 3 kinds of people. It's a sorting process, not a selling process. First person is just not interested. Second person says, wow, I'd love to be connected, be a customer. That sounds awesome. The third person says, okay, so it doesn't even cost me more money to be an affiliate versus being a customer. So I take a shot at it and you can be rewarded. Now this final slide, okay, and then as we unleash these marketing materials, you no longer have to go through somebody in the company to sign up another affiliate. We're turning the glove, taking the gloves off and giving you the link that someone can actually go and type it in. They need to put the person's name who referred them in there because the company will not take corporate accounts. And so people can go crazy if they feel comfortable in the program. But Mr. Schilling, as we conclude here, will show you the company's schedule of giving live webinars on a day-to-day basis where we can bring multiple people. And I wanted to leave you with this, because being in the business of direct selling and working with people around the world for many decades, there's always a scenario. So this shows 10 people that became customers. This is not counting getting other affiliates and getting the $20 override. This is getting 20 customers, and this is getting 100. And then if this is not an MLM or a network marketing company, but it has a lot of attributes of one. So this is first generation. I'm just going to say that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 generations. Now this takes the shape of a binary, but there is no left, there is no right. There is no 10% payout or a 1/3, 2/3, or a 50-50. It's just if a customer refers 2, maybe they don't refer 2, they refer 1, maybe they refer 10. It doesn't matter because there's no comp plan to satisfy. It's how many customers referred how many customers, referred how many customers. So this is just taking an example. It's not a guarantee of income. It'll never happen this way in a million years. But through 9 generations, we see that if all I did in the beginning of working with BeeKonnected is go out and do the bare minimum to be qualified to get a check, and they referred to, my last commission check was over $250,000. Now, if we did the 20, then we obviously over doubled the income. But let's say somebody took this real serious and they said, I'm going to go out and find myself 100 customers. When this thing kicks off, yeah, I'm going to bring affiliates and I'm going to help some other people make some money, but I'm going to go after this thing with a vengeance, and I'm going to go out and get 100 customers. And let's just say, let's dream a little here, the customer loves the program, doesn't want to pay, so they refer 2 people. And this goes through 9 generations. Well, you see 2.5 million down here. But if you add up all the commissions, it's over 5 million. I've made a lot of money in network marketing, and I've built some huge organizations. I've recruited 10,000 people in my group in 4 days. But I can tell you this, I didn't get paid this kind of money. They didn't pay me 1.2 million in 4 days. So yes, it has some attributes of the networking. We want to take the best of word of mouth advertising, but we don't want to put the pressure on the customer thinking they're belonging to something that maybe is legit, not legit. The customer just sees what a customer would see as, I love the program, I'm going to refer a couple people. The affiliates have the opportunity right now to find other affiliates, because I'll do another thing at a later date to show if you bring in X amount of affiliates, they go out and build a customer base so they can make their 6 or 7 figure income. What does that look like to you as you're getting a $20 override on all the customer base that they're bringing in? So it's truly a unique animal. No one's ever done this before, with taking the connection generator idea, merging it with some of the best coaches in the world, merging that with thousands and thousands of dollars in savings, and then having a compensation plan that a handful of people can market to 7 billion people that are all going through a global paradigm shift, right? Simultaneously, it's like the perfect storm in a good way. So with that said, I'd like to turn it back over to Ms. Hoffman and then also Mr. Schilling, and to make sure that we discuss Mr. Schilling's schedule moving forward. So as people get their marketing material and go out there and start, stirring the pot, so to speak, what do they do with a bunch of people that want to know more and they're maybe not prepared to answer tough questions?
Awesome. Great job. So before I turn it over to Mr. Schilling, who's going to give you his whole layout for the rest of the week, what we want to make sure is that when you're looking at, going out this week, use the affiliate link that we were showing you earlier. In there, it has who referred them. So that's how we're linking them to you. It's always helpful if that person spells your name correctly. We do find out if we don't figure out who it is that they're talking about. So, don't worry about it. We've got your back on that. And we're excited about next week. On Saturday, we've got a webinar that we're going to do a training on. So Scott, why don't you take it from here and tell them about what you've got planned for the rest of the week.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting. Everybody, thank you so much for everything that you've been doing, reaching out to wonderful people. The calls have been fabulous. It's a joy to work with each and every one of you. It truly is. This is so much fun because we're really sharing so much hope and so much opportunity with people. So we originally started, obviously, making my schedule available to people, and you took advantage of it, and that's awesome. And it was set for about 7 presentations a day. And then some folks came in and said, well, I can't get any spots. So I opened up 3 more spots in the day, and we filled those immediately. That's awesome. So it became very evident very quickly that we needed to put something in place that gave each and every one of you the opportunity to know on a daily basis, no matter what, there was at least one time each day that you could no doubt have somebody show up. So starting Wednesday, April 8th, 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time, there is a webinar available. In other words, a meeting at 10 a.m. on Wednesday the 8th. There is that, and I will send out the Zoom link and everything that it takes to get into that meeting. The exact same time on Thursday the 9th at 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time, there will be a session that you can send people to.
What happens on Friday?
Friday, 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time, there is a session. Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time, there is a session.
We're going to take a break on Sunday, I hope.
Well, it's Easter. We got to.
Yes.
But it was actually scheduled until I realized it was Easter, so that we will get back at it on Monday, 10 a.m. So understand, 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time every day of the week going forward. And it will be Sunday too, except for Easter. understand that I want to make it available for you and make it as easy as possible for you to know that there is a spot that they can always hear this presentation.
Okay, Scotty, I'm going to interrupt you here. So what do we do for our Aussie friends down under there? So it's 4 a.m. in the morning for them. What can we do for them?
Well, they need to wake up early. No, I'm kidding. No,
hey, they can kill you with a kangaroo, man. It'd be nice.
I know. No, we've already had that conversation, and we will time it for our Australian friends, right? So I think we're looking at 6 or 7 o'clock our central time for them to hit the right time down there. Understand that we need to know everything that we can do to be of service to you. Understand there's a lot of things moving very quickly. That's tremendously exciting. What's even more exciting is the level of folks that you guys are bringing to these calls and the understanding that those people are having in this. I would love to be able to tell you some people, but I can't do that right now, that are just so excited about this. They're seeing opportunities that, quite frankly, they've never seen in their lives. And they've seen a lot of opportunities. But what they're also seeing is a change in the entire business climate worldwide. And so again, understand that everybody is in a paradigm shift. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of frustration. And this program is coming along at just the perfect time for so many people. So we want to do everything we can. If it would, that room at 10 a.m. every day holds 500. If we need to either put more on each day, whatever has to be done, that's what will be done.
Yeah,
again,
Scotty, and I'm going to interrupt you here and be rude again. So these were questions that were asked during, and then I can't talk and chew gum at the same time, so I can't talk and look at the chat window, but now that I'm done. So some people had some very intelligent questions on the Zoom account, and since this was part of your brilliant connections of your own bringing the value to the company, can you just be very clear? What's a web, what's the platform? How many live attendees? What's the difference between Facebook and YouTube and all that good stuff?
So the video conferencing, the webinars live to Facebook, you can actually go to, there's 3 different platforms you can live stream to. Once you are on, you can live stream to Facebook, you can live stream to YouTube, and Workplace, I think, is the name of the third. So there are live streaming locations. You can have up to 10,000 attendees of Facebook Live. The webinar room that, again, and I'll be using this, it's a 500 person webinar room. So 500 attendees at any one time in the webinar. This is literally the top, basically the top end package for only $10, $9.99 a month. So this is going to allow a lot of people to pivot. Here's another thing that's very important: unlimited cloud storage. That means literally every meeting you do can be stored in the cloud. You can then get with Tracy, turn that into a product. I mean, there's so many different things that can be done with these accounts. Tremendously exciting. So look forward to helping you achieve that here very quickly. Again, it'll be this week sometime. We're working to make sure that you have access to this. I can tell you, I've been doing these presentations every day, multiple times a day, and I have had more people tell me, you just gave me the way to pivot my business in a world economy that's so unsure. I just became sure. That feels good. I'm just telling you that. So the point is that we have such amazing opportunities every day, 10 a.m. Central Time, 7 days a week, except for Easter. You will have the opportunity to, in fact, put somebody into a live presentation by me, 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Every Saturday going forward at 12 noon Central Daylight Time, we will do a training. We have some of the most amazing coaches. Has anybody noticed besides me? I mean, these are the best of the best. It is so exciting. And we're going to obviously do trainings with them. We have some amazing affiliates, by the way, that we want to share best practices. We want to do a variety of different things to serve you the best we possibly can. So every Saturday, there will be a standing training date at 12 noon Central Daylight Time from that side. Let's see.
And
what
real
else
quickly, I did talk to the Working Live, which is the Zoom platform we'll be using. And they have agreed, because I twisted their arm, because I was like, we need some help figuring out, because I know if you're like me, I don't use everything that Zoom does. And so they're going to walk us through how do you actually use Zoom most effectively, the webinar system versus the Facebook Live system, all of those different systems we'll be able to get really knowledgeable information from the company. So it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have access to the experts in same thing in travel. The travel folks will tell us, will help you utilize that to the fullest. And by the way, that's an amazing, amazing program. When we have the opportunity to travel again, you're gonna love that program. And again, I want to add something about that. The fact is, we built this program prior to COVID hitting. So people say sometimes in the presentation, Scott, aren't you sequestered in your home as well? Yeah, well, number one, as soon as I'm not, I'm going to travel. But that's not why it was built in here. It was built in here because connected people understand face-to-face is the way you connect many times. Now, business will be done differently going forward. It'll be a lot more virtual than it's ever been. But we wanted to take away the burden, $2,500 worth of burden off you so that you can do that face-to-face. It is, as an entrepreneur, saving money is making money. It's a tremendous value. You're going to love it. I can tell you that.
Scotty, can you share some clarity around the type of people we should be sharing this platform with? Because in the presentation, we define them as influencers and business leaders. So I think it would be great to kind of put some parameters around that so we just don't go out and tell anybody.
Well, I think, Jerry, and it's a great question. I think the reality is there are varying levels of influence. I have always found like-minded, like-hearted people congregate together. We want the true quality to come through in this. Again, that's why it's not a free platform. That's why there's a lot of value here. We want to protect the quality and integrity of folks. So we all know, if you've been in the speaking business for a period of time, we know who the great ones are, and we know who the less than great ones are. And it's not that they're not nice people and things like that, but again, we want quality people who have a desire to intentionally do quality, purposeful, integrous business.
Okay.
So, I mean, use that as your gauge, right? Who are the people that you would like to do business with? Those are the people that I think we should target.
Yes, and to wrap it up, because we're kind of getting late here, we know everyone's got the rest of their evening to get to. We will be sending out a email, so make sure that you are getting your emails. Check spam if you're not getting them. Everyone should be getting an email, and it'll have the video that you can send out through your phone. It will also have the PowerPoint presentation. Pretty soon we'll have a presentation that you could just show people, so that'll make it really easy too. And then we'll also have the information on next Saturday's call, and then all of the excitement around Scott's 10 o'clock every day, except for Easter.
Yeah, and if I could say some closing messages here. So again, it's wonderful to be excited, but it's a business. We want to have some business plan and some goals. Don't be the Johnny Downer kind of guy here. But again, everything, successful people always have goals. So the first goal you want to do is be qualified, right? Be qualified, to be an actual affiliate that can make a commission. It'd be really cool, right? If you're ready to start making money, we want to send money out to people ASAP so we can start having some income stories for people, right? We already had some people knocking on the door of getting their X amount of people. And then again, we can do some future training outside the normal presentation that Mr. Schilling does such an excellent job, and talk a little bit more about strategy, about building a team of affiliates versus customers. And when we combine the two, I think it would shock you if you really start to understand how many tens upon tens of millions of people are in panic mode because of this global paradigm shift, and they need to do something. And the longer we take, the more their discretionary income is being depleted. Now, the good news is I heard a lot of the government just signed off a multi-trillion-dollar package. It's going to be sending thousands of dollars to everybody in the United States. So I encourage that person to take a little of that money and put it into business for yourself. But listen, we appreciate all of you for coming on here. And like I said, you know, Tanya started with some of her nearest and dear friends who talked to some people who we've had some behind the scenes conversations of, some of you that, again, we don't like to name drop, but are just absolutely icons and just legends in your industry. And we want to work with you and help you in whatever capacity it takes to help you accomplish whatever final goals that you want to cement in your legacy of the last chapter you're trying to write here before you ride off into the sunset. So with that said, my time is up. I appreciate everything. Mr. Schilling, back to you for final thoughts and closing us out.
I just want to thank everybody for being here. Sorry for a little, rough start with some of that stuff. You know, we are moving so fast, so quickly. There's no excuses, not trying to make any, but we are so excited to be working with so many of you. You're so awesome. We want to deliver the very best we possibly can to you each and every day. And our commitment is to make that happen. So, and we got a CEO that, you know, wants to make sure that that happens too. So, and that's all a great thing. Really look forward to working with everybody. Thank you for being here. Have a great evening, and talk to you soon.